Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. So the Liberal government has announced that they plan to go ahead with their gun confiscation scheme, which of course they call a buyback, but buying is a consensual transaction. This is nothing of the sort. They really want this to happen during the election because this is really just the point. They want to use this for votes rather than any public safety issue. However, let's have a look at, they've made some changes to the law to allow this to happen. So we're going to look at those and what it tells us about how this is likely to take place. Okay, so this is the order amending the order declaring an amnesty period. And you can see here, it's got a whole bunch of new paragraphs that they're adding. Now, based on where these go into the existing order, these new paragraphs essentially cover people who are exempted from being able to be charged for having any of these banned items. Notably, this includes the AR-15, but also a whole bunch of other firearms. So, the people who are protected under this new order: a person who at any time during the amnesty period is in possession of a specified firearm or specified device for the sole purpose of destroying it. Now, the reason why they say specified device is that they also banned not just AR-15 lowers, but also the uppers. So, and has entered into an agreement with the Government of Canada to destroy specified firearms or specified devices, or is acting in the course of their duties, including as an employee or agent or mandatory, on behalf of a person who has entered into such an agreement. So this basically means that the government will be able to essentially hire anybody, any private company or whoever, and that they'll be protected under this amnesty order for taking those guns in for the purpose of destroying them. So the next is a person who at any time during the amnesty period is in possession of a specified firearm or specified device for the sole purpose of delivering it to a person referred to in paragraph G to be destroyed, and is an organization within the meaning of the law, and is authorized under an act of parliament to transport firearms, or an employee, a contractor, or an agent or mandatory of such an organization, or subcontractors, etc., if they're acting in the course of their duties or under a contract. So this is basically to allow for different means of getting them to the destruction point. This is something that they've had a problem with. Like, hey, does Canada Post want to do it? And Canada Post has said, no, we really don't. This is actually a big security problem for us. Please don't make us do this. And so this looks like they want to expand this to possibly allow for couriers or other sorts of people. Now, this is not a good idea because whoever they pick, there's going to be a tremendous incentive for people to try to subvert that. There's all sorts of potential issues, but this is the idea. They're trying to make it so that they have more options for how this can go, and we'll see. We don't have the final details, but we can sort of glean some details out of how they're acting here. Also, a person who at any time during the amnesty period is in possession of a specified firearm owned by a person referred to in paragraph A or B for the sole purpose of deactivating it so that it is no longer a firearm, and is a business that holds a license under the Act authorizing the business to possess prohibited firearms for the purpose of deactivating them, or any employee of such a business. So essentially this is gunsmiths who are authorized to perform deactivation work. So this is to allow for people to turn over these guns to gun stores. I don't really know why they need this, because if the business is already authorized to possess prohibited firearms for deactivating them, then they're already authorized. Anyway, that just seems a little odd, but okay. They're replacing some things. So if the person is a business, as defined in subsection 2 sub 1 of the Firearms Act, these are purposes for which they can have it. Return the specified firearm or specified device to the manufacturer. So they're allowing businesses to sort of return things and send them back if they're able to get money back for them. B, deliver the specified firearm or specified device to a person referred to in 1H for the purpose of shipping the specified firearm or specified device to be destroyed. So businesses can also have it destroyed. Or deliver the specified firearm or specified device to a carrier for the purpose of shipping the firearm to be destroyed or to be deactivated. Okay, so this is again a purpose that allows businesses to either return things or have them destroyed or deactivated. Further purposes, permit a person referred to in 1G to transport the specified firearm or specified device for the purpose of destroying it, and possess the firearm or device before transporting it or destroying it as is required. So, and they have to store it as per the regulations in that time. The next is permit a person to A, deliver the specified firearm or device to a person for the purpose of destroying it, transport the firearm or device for the purpose of delivering it for destroying it, or possess the firearm or device before doing any of those things, i.e. before destroying it or delivering it or transporting it or the like, and to permit a business to possess the specified firearm before deactivating it as long as they store it as the law required. So this essentially allows them to take a whole bunch of people who otherwise couldn't handle firearms and say, okay, for the purpose of these destruction elements, you guys can now possess these in circumstances where you couldn't. So they note previously the amnesty order only specified one pathway for affected businesses to turn in their prohibited items for destruction, namely by delivery to a police officer. The amnesty order did not provide affected businesses with other secure options for turning in the prohibited items for destruction that may be more convenient or that align with established business practices for disposal of the prohibited items. Similarly, the amnesty order did not allow other persons or entities to take possession of the prohibited items for the purpose of transportation or destruction. Finally, the amnesty order did not allow affected businesses to use shipping services to transport the prohibited items to these persons or entities for destruction or to approve businesses for deactivation. This is really allowing for a much greater range of options for the government, because they basically run out all of their current options. The police, not really inclined to participate, especially given that the government was very much trying to push the costs from the federal government onto provinces to say, listen, you need to pay for this process through your provincial policing budget, and good luck. Provinces, of course, were saying, wait a minute, we didn't want that. We don't want to deal with these costs. That doesn't sound like fun to us. You want this, you pay for it. So now the government is potentially going to be able to allow for more places, like they might be able to get a smelter to do it or something along those lines. Now, keep in mind, of course, these guns, as they're being sent off for destruction, are going to be a prime target for thieves or, organized crime or anything else. And so just fobbing this off onto, couriers or whoever has some real risks. There is the real potential that many of these guns go missing. And once that happens, well, who are they going to blame? Well, certainly the government is not very good at accepting blame for their own mistakes, especially this government. But what I suspect that they'll do is they'll turn around and blame gun owners for the problems, and they'll say, look at, these are definitely a problem because there's all these guns on our streets. Well, these guns haven't been a problem when they were locked in the safes of, licensed gun owners. But if we start flooding the streets with them through really poorly thought out measures, then maybe they will be a problem. We'll have to see. And of course, it's going to be wonderful when they turn around and blame folks like me for that decision. I really think it says something that they want to do this like during the election campaign. Not about public safety. This is really about votes, and it's crazy because people may go to jail over this. People may get killed as a result of this. It's wild to me. Anyway, I've had some requests for me to explain this and sort of provide a brief run through. So I think we've done that. Let me know on your questions on this one. Ultimately, we don't know the final form of this, but they have made hints as to sort of the notions that they have. And it's probably going to be that they want people to sort of turn these things in and either send them out themselves via shipping services, or maybe they want to get gun stores to act as temporary sort of depots for these things. I don't think the gun stores really want to play ball on this. I mean, unless you want to go to business, this is probably not a good look, but we'll see. Ultimately, this is going to be sort of a complicated, thorny issue, but I'll keep sort of talking about it as we learn more. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I want to thank my Patreon supporters at the $50 level, Purple Dragonair, Cielo, CCFR, PJs Forever, Canada's National Firearms Association, and the Canadian Shooting Sports Association. And at the $20 level, Lindsay Metcalf, Lyric Kalniak, Kyle Fox, Drunk All of the Baileys, Cameron Johnson, Andrew Elsich, Vicky, and Dorky Dane. Thank you as well to my $10 supporters who will be in the crawl immediately following. Thank you for watching. Hope this has armed you with knowledge. See you next time.